Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. We are the students from Design and Technology and Art. The content of the presentation are model diagram, problem statement, objectives, lesson plan, which we're gonna talk more in details in lesson development, Bauhaus idea that include technology, what is Bauhaus design, a few example pictures of Bauhaus design, video, and conclusion. First of all, let me explain briefly regarding the model diagram. To be able to use each of the app, you have to have an internet and an account. We emphasize students to use Gmail because if you have Gmail, you have Google Drive. Google Drive is an app where you store, organize files and folder, and also you can share as well. You can access your file or folder anywhere as long as you have internet. As you can see, there are three different color boxes. Green represent communication, gray represent resource of research, orange represent educational online site purpose of sharing students presenting. As I mentioned earlier, most of the app need to create an account, and to verify that you are using this app, you need an email account. Except WhatsApp, because you only need phone number and a handphone to create an account. Green box represent communication. Nowadays, the 21st century student mostly have WhatsApps, email, and Facebook, which we'll be focusing on. These three apps are mostly the main source of communication and socializing with colleagues and friends. In the other hand, Facebook can be also part of research. Example, by liking any art pages, people can comment on the art pages and we could see their point of view. But some of the page cannot be trusted due to some fake profile and fake pages. This is the reason why that leads to the gray box, which represent resource of research. We are focusing on two apps, which is YouTube and TED-Ed, which is a good website for tutorial and educational purposes. Example, as a design and technology teacher, I need to familiarize on how to use one of the machines. Let's say the wood lathe. Using YouTube is the best tutorial you can get because some of the tutorials show you step-by-step procedure which include the health and safety too. The orange box represents educational online sites purpose of sharing or student presenting. Prezi is a good app because from my point of view it is more interactive than PowerPoint presentation.
When it comes to the delivery and infusing creativity and technology into the classroom, we have managed to come up with four main problems commonly found in Brunei's creative classrooms. First is technology reliability. As the age of technology rises, society's dependency on it follows, and technology throughout the years has become more and more convenient for everybody's use. This outcomes to heavy reliance of technology, whether it be for online resources, ease of daily activities or routines, and other personal management. Some information published online are not 100% accurate, and this questions which resources are to be trusted. Second is lack of skills on operating machinery. This applies more to the educators rather than the students. In Brunei, creative activities requires creative background skills and knowledge, for example, assisting students with softwares like iMovie, Final Cut Pro, Photoshop, or in design tech cases, operating machineries such as injection molding, laser cutting, or use of CAD-CAM. Classes in DT would result far more dangerous injuries than art classes, as DT activities mainly consist of labor-intensive processes. Lack of resources. Creative classrooms requires materials and machineries. Materials and machineries are incredibly expensive, and this is problematic for most schools with a tight budget. Without the availability of these resources, students are unable to perform as well as they could have, which jeopardizes their academic performances. Possibilities of miscommunication. Now, in Brunei, the need to be bilingual in English and Malay is crucial in most schools. Even though after O-level, most textbooks, educational online activities, and exams will be written in English language, some students still have a major problem in understanding English. So the possibilities of miscommunication, whether it be online or in the classroom, it is still very high. This affects their futures greatly in job interviews, employment, higher education, etc. The need to be internationally understood needs to be more emphasized in schools. Our objective in one lesson is to highlight the use of technology in students' learning experience. Students are required to present parts of the 21st century learning and design criteria during the lesson to enhance their learning competence to its fullest. As shown, these criteria are collaboration, knowledge construction, self-regulation, real-world problem-solving and innovation, use of ICT for learning, and skilled communication.
For the lesson plan, we will start with the description on the Bauhaus. In brief, we will talk about the history of Bauhaus, Bauhaus design, and the objectives of the lesson. The objectives of the lesson are: by the end of the lesson, students should be able to identify suitable media and materials used in designing furniture, understand the process and techniques in designing furniture, apply problem-solving skills in creating three-dimensional works of art, use media, tools, and technology in a safe and responsible manner. For the materials, we allowed students to use any kind of materials that is suitable for the project. For example, acrylic, metal, wood, glass, and plastic. There are several technologies available for the project. For example, for research, students can use Google Search, YouTube, Prezi, and TED. For communication, students can use WhatsApp, Edmodo, Facebook, and email. To develop the lesson, teacher will divide students into group of 3 or 4, and then teacher will ask them to choose one of the top 5 artists from the Bauhaus school and do research on the artist. Once they are done with the research, they have to come up with at least one design for the project. And then teacher will ask students to recreate the design into model form using any suitable materials according to their plan. But before they can start the activity, they need to prepare all the materials beforehand. During the lesson, students have to listen to the teacher explaining on how to carry out the project. Then they are going to watch video presentation about the topic. And to start the project, they need to discuss about the design of the project and what are the things that might be needed during the activity. Then they are going to prepare all the materials which they think are suitable for the project.
Before we show the video of Bauhaus idea and technology, we need to understand what is Bauhaus. Bauhaus was a design school that operated in Germany in 1919 to 1933. The founder of Bauhaus was an architect, Walter Gropius. His aim was to bring art, design and industry together in order to embrace technological developments. What is Bauhaus design? It is a design that integrates art, architecture, technology and craftsmanship into a single creative expression. This is a few examples of Bauhaus design.
Art is like a fast train. A new movement is constantly leaving the platform, and if you don't jump on, you'll be stuck behind the next great thing. Think about how art has changed in just the past 20 years. It has gone from being thought of as strictly painting or sculpting to embracing digital photographs and graphic design as art forms. While it's important to learn from the past, it's also important to live in the now. Times are changing and art education is no longer just learning how to draw or mold clay. Hundreds of new jobs are being offered that involve technology and art. So how well can we prepare our students to be successful in today's art world if we stick to using yesterday's methods? Using technology in the art classroom is beneficial to students in so many ways. It not only teaches them how to create using special programs and software like Google SketchUp or Photoshop, but it also creates a larger platform on which students can share the work they are proud of. Try creating a Pinterest account for one of your classes. Then students can see their art being displayed digitally as well as getting inspired by other artists online. Using a smartboard in your art class is a good way to make the potentially boring part of art more fun by letting students interact in hands-on ways. When it came time to analyze different works, you could project a slide or famous painting on the board and ask students to highlight or circle the different elements and principles used in the work with the smartboard pen. Instead of running a regular PowerPoint and rambling on about important parts of the painting, you can let students draw on the board to point out key ideas on the image itself. A document camera would be another great technological tool for the art classroom. When trying to demonstrate how to use different techniques when using ink or graphite, it would be easy to draw on the table like you normally would with the document camera projecting the image on the board for all students to see. Without a document camera, you would have to awkwardly maneuver to draw in order for all students to see the demonstration. With a document camera in your art classroom, you could better instruct and demonstrate, leading to a better understanding in works of art by your students. The art world has always been changing fast, and it's changing even faster now in the age of technology. New jobs and opportunities are being offered through digital means, and our students need to be equipped for that kind of world. These kids aren't called digital natives for nothing. Let them be just that.
Here's an example of how we could implement technology into the classroom.
Coming up in iPads in the classroom, visual art.
Hi, my name is Guy Trainen.
And I'm Amanda Hall.
And this is iPads in the Classroom, and today we're creating some more visual art. And we're going to start with...
We're going to start with drawing Carl.
Which is a fantastic name. Let's
Yes,
start with
it
that.
is.
I'm not sure who Carl is, but he can draw.
This is also a free app. We're going to start with draw. So you can go over here and pick what color you want. You can kind of do zigzags and you can kind of create. And then once you're done, you can pick different sizes or bigger one. They have stamps, it looks like. So maybe I want to put some stars.
And you can actually, yeah, and with these you can stretch them across. You can insert characters into
Yes.
it.
My monster's getting eaten by the purple machine. Then you can save it and you can load it. Obviously, you can see you can post it on Facebook, send it by email or in the library, import it into your library. So, and also when you get done, if you were going to participate, you can enter into the Carl contest. So it displays the best drawings. Maybe your students can win if you want them to participate in this.
And so this one is called?
Drawing with Carl.
Okay. And the next one is InkFlow. And InkFlow is a much simpler app.
So if I choose my new book, again, this is also another free app that you can have your students do during free time. Maybe you want them to work on shapes for math. You could have them draw, work on maybe fractions. And this one you can import, you can tweak the picture, save it, email it. And this is called InkFlow, and it's also another free app that you can use.
Okay. The first one I want to show you is called InstaFrame. And in InstaFrame, what you can do, and this is another free app, what you can do in InstaFrame is choose a structure that you like, a background that you like, and you can see that there are lots of options to create that, so to put your picture in a context. But let's start with something like this. And then we can choose the structure. And now we brought one picture here, and we can center this picture. Let's bring another picture from our photo library. And I've got some pictures in my photo library of Nebraska. So let's take this one. Now I've brought in this picture. And what I can do with this picture is I can actually add an effect. So I can go to my effects and see what kind of effect would look cool with this. I think that this black and white kind of an effect makes it even nicer. So that way we can bring that. We can also bring another photo. So let's say this one, again, Nebraska history. Now it's down here, and we can create another effect. Let's say a negative effect. That's always special. We can add text on top of this. This is a new art product, right? And now this comes here, and we can obviously change font and change the background and all of that. I can make this bigger or smaller right here. Very easy to control. You can change how dark the font is, but you can also change the font itself, give it all kinds of effects to go with it. So you can play with it a lot, and then eventually you can save it, obviously, or you can actually share it in all of these ways. So you can email it, you can save it to your pictures, make copies, Dropbox, or whatever you have. The option is there. So this one is called InstaFrame. And the next one I'm going to show you is somewhat similar. It's called PixArt. And what you have here is different ways to organize multiple pictures. So you can create something. Which one do you like?
Let's do that one.
Okay, so each one you would just add a picture. You can take it from your gallery, you can capture, or you can take it from somewhere else. So let's take something from our gallery. Again, the Nebraska theme wins. So done. And here is one. And I can take one from my gallery again. And here, a Lego person would fit there well. So both, and you can import all three at once. So now you have 3 pictures, and you can play with the shape they're at, so you can make them rounded corners or straight corners. You can change the frame to fit different structures. You can, for example, do something like this, and they twist them around, and it's a very nice effect. So this one is called PixArt. And the last one I want to share, and it's not directly about creating visual art, but it's about thinking about art in a different way, and that has been going on for a while. We have some artists that do this, but this is thinking about natural phenomena as art. And these are pictures from NASA, and this is called Earth as Art. And what you can see is these photographs of natural phenomena, mostly from space or from very high up. And they have been colored, sometimes recolored, and they are, in some ways, art. So this is a way to share with your students really thinking about arts about visual art in a different way. So today on iPads in the Classroom, we shared some things about visual art and bringing in drawing and photos and rethinking about how nature can play into visual arts. And we'll see you next time on iPads in the Classroom.
This is an example of what apps students can use to promote creativity in the classroom.
In conclusion, art, design, and technology should be presented in a collaborative format. Using technology as a tool, there will always be obstacles such as internet connectivity and technical machinery that may need repairs. However, through technology, teachers are able to help students become aware of the broad art culture in foreign countries. From virtual art galleries to artists' websites, students can be influenced and encouraged to dive further into the world of art.